All right, guys. Good morning. Or I said good afternoon. I'm so used to saying good morning that I said good afternoon. I'm so used to saying good afternoon that I say good morning anyway. What's up, guys? Hold on. Let me get this all straightened out. We should be actually live, so there's no delay. Let me turn down the music. Can you guys hear me? Let's do a sound check real quick. There we go. We should be good. Test. All right, cool. Yes, sir. Happy Easter to all my trading family and friends here today. What's up, team? All right, guys. So here's the thing, right? You guys know me. I'm not an expert or anything of the sorts. Like, I'm really not. I'm not an expert. I'm not trying to pretend to be an expert or anything like that. But I have been having some pretty solid success scalping the market. I've been having some pretty good success. I've streamed it all live. Every day I ended green last week. I had 0 losing days, and I streamed it all live on YouTube to where I can't fake that even if I wanted to. And so I do think that there is some, credence to teaching people these strategies that I've been using, these scalping strategies, because again, they've been working ridiculously well. And people are going to say, you guys shouldn't be teaching people. And look, I'm going to preface this entire stream with, I am not an expert. I am not a guru. I'm not anything of the sort. I'm just teaching you guys the strategies that work for me, and they might not work for you. Like I always say, they might not work for you. They might work for me and not work for you. Just like strategies that you might implement in the market might work for you, but maybe not work for me as well, And so with that in mind, we're going to go ahead and get started. Let me make sure this is right. Hold on, let me... And I want to make sure the music isn't super loud to where you can't hear me. So let me know how the music is going and all that stuff. Let me make sure this is right. That looks good. All right. I'm going to do something I never do, which is drink a soda. I never drink soda, but I need the caffeine right now. Here we go. I think that looks way better, right? I know I never drink soda. I would drink a beer, but I don't know. I'm just not feeling a beer right now. Yeah, soda's terrible, man. I know, dude. I never drink soda. What's the volume like? I'll be right back. I'm going to check the volume really quick. Hold on. Alright. Yeah, we're good. Volume's fine. Okay. So, let's go ahead and get started, guys. Like I said, I'm going to keep this very short and sweet. It's not going to be a super long class, so we can kind of hang out, and if you have any questions before tomorrow's market open, you guys can ask some questions, or if you guys want to talk about anything in particular, we could do that too. I'll go ahead and show my face here, I guess. I'll go ahead and show my face. I wasn't really planning on showing my face, but I'll go ahead and do it. Hold on real quick. Let me get this set up. Alright, I'm going to get this green screen set up just so you guys can see my beautiful face here too. Well, I'm not used to streaming at this time. It's all dark. Let me see. That should work. Oh, also, fun fact, guys. My wife cut my hair yesterday. How crazy is that? My wife cut my hair. Weird. A little bit better. Alright, let's see if I can make this work. I might be a little fuzzy, so just a warning, guys, but like this should work. It's kind of yellow. There we go. Alright, I'm here. What's up, guys? What's up, team? Good morning, good afternoon. I'm used to saying good morning. Alright, with all that said, we'll go ahead and get started. Alright, so like I said, we're going to be using thinkorswim OnDemand to practice. And if you've never used thinkorswim OnDemand essentially lets you go back in time and trade any market day you want. So I can go back to years ago. I can pick any market day I want, and I can paper trade and practice trading that day, even on the weekends, even in after hours after the market is closed. I can go back in time and I can trade any market day in the past 20 years or so, maybe a little bit longer than that. I could probably go back and trade some really old days in the market, and so it's a great tool for traders. It's a tool that I certainly recommend new traders learn to use and learn to use it well, because again, it really enables you to be able to go back in time and trade the market. You know, it allows you to practice trading on the weekends, which again I think is a pretty rare thing. I think it's a very valuable and useful thing for traders to do. I find it especially useful to practice trading in that I can like practice my system. I can practice my risk reward calculations, and I can practice doing all that different stuff that can be really beneficial, because a lot of trading, a lot of day trading specifically, is just conditioning. You know, it's just doing the same thing over and over and over again until it becomes second nature and you don't have to let your emotions get involved. That is what creates a successful trader. It's just conditioning yourself to do the right thing so that you've done it so much it's second nature and your emotions do not play as big of a factor as they could. That is what successful trading is, in my opinion. And so with that, I think thinkorswim in particular is a great tool that traders can use, again, to practice trading. What's up? What's up, Christian? What's up, Usman? What's up, my man James? What's up, Robert? What's up, Brian? Julio, Super Vet, Addicted. What's up, team? Happy Easter to you as well, brother. All right, let me know how the music is. I want to make sure the music isn't like that bad. I just got to make sure I have everything muted. That's muted. Good. I think that's the only one. All right, I should be good. What's up, Sebastian? What's up, brother? All right, so the first strategy I want to go over, and so if you guys know me, I trade a strategy I called the VWAP fake out fade. It's a strategy that I actually created, at least from what I understand. It's proprietary and unique to me, but somebody else out there in the ether might use it. I've just never seen anybody else do it, and I honestly developed this strategy myself because I saw it happen enough in the market. Now, it's not usually a scalping strategy, although you can approach it in that way, but when I trade the VWAP fade and the fake out fade, I usually trade it, I usually end up holding it for a few minutes, trying to take profits on average around the low of the day. I think that's a really good profit target level. But I've kind of evolved that strategy to be a scalping strategy in this regard. And again, it's one of the ones that I used this past week. And again, if you watched the stream last week, I ended every single day green. If you go back and you watch every stream last week and you look at my P&L at the end of the day, you'll see me end the day green. I think almost every day I ended up at least $150+ I had one $510 day. I had, I think, a few other $300, $200 days. But again, part of them were using this strategy, and so it's a really powerful strategy. The big key I want people to understand about scalping in general is that you cannot let your emotions get the best of you. If it doesn't work, you just need to get out of the position. Scalping gets new traders specifically in trouble because they refuse to exit. If a scalping position goes against you, you need to get the hell out of that thing, man. You don't need to hold on to that trade. And that's the key to scalping. You use quick trades. Like I said, I usually try to get 10 or 15 cents max. I'm not trying to get over 10 or 15 cents. And, I think whenever you approach it from that way and you're understanding, you're not afraid to lose, you end up winning, as ironic as that is. But anyways, so I'm just going to go over this PowerPoint, and then we're going to move on to actual on-demand examples using the on-demand tool I mentioned earlier. So the first strategy I call it the fake out fade scalp. This is when you wait for a stock to put in a specific low under the VWAP. And I want you guys to remember this because the low under the VWAP is key. You want to find a low that has confirmed at least a few times, and that is the low break you're attacking. And so like this says, once this happens, you wait for an obvious and clear rejection back below the VWAP. I'm going to move forward in this slide just so I can show some examples of what I'm talking about here, because I know that's going to be a little bit easier for me to do. It's just to show some examples. Okay, so when I say a low underneath the VWAP, let me see if it'll allow me to draw anything here. I think it will. Right. Okay, cool. A pin. All right, nice. So this is the low I'm talking about right here. Okay, I want the stock to form a low underneath the VWAP. It needs to form a low because that's the momentum break that I'm attacking. And so a lot of the time you're going to look for stocks in a downward trend, but they can happen with sideways trends. They can happen when the stock is maintaining above the VWAP in an upward trend, or when the stock is maintaining below the VWAP in a downward trend. The big thing here is that you want to look for a really obvious low to be formed underneath the VWAP. And the real reason this is significant, guys, is because, number one, the VWAP's an intraday trend indicator, and so it's telling you that intraday trend. So if a stock is pushing below the VWAP, it's pushing to a downward bearish intraday trend. And when a stock is maintaining and pushing above the VWAP on an intraday basis, it's maintaining an upward or bullish intraday trend, right? And so when you see a stock that has a really obvious confirmed low, which is right here, when you see a stock that has a really obvious and confirmed low, and then you see a big move below the VWAP, you see a big rejection back below the VWAP, that shows a lot of weakness and momentum on the downside that you could take advantage of. And so again, let me see if I can find an eraser here. There should be one. Here it is. And so again, you use this level, and what you're really doing is attacking this momentum. And so you have this low that's formed right here. And whenever the stock, people are considering, the stock's above the VWAP, it's pushing above it. People are considering whether, it's going to change trends, whether it's going to maintain and stay pushing up and stay in an upward trend, right? And so whenever it puts in this low here, and it looks like it might actually push above the VWAP, but instead we just get a quick rejection back below it. Again, I'm jumping in at that level, at the break level, where it looks really, really weak, and I'm taking 10 or 15 cents from these type of trades. And so does that make sense to everybody? Gap up, gap down is relatively insignificant. I'm not really looking at pre-market levels with this type of trade. I'm more so looking for short-term momentum. So I'm looking for a low to be formed, again, below the VWAP here. Again, right here, you see this low. And then I'm waiting for the stock to get rejected below the VWAP. I want to see it get rejected because that shows a lot of weakness. When the stock gets pushed all the way back below the VWAP, that shows weakness. Other traders that may have been considering it for a long position, a lot of the time when it gets rejected back below the VWAP, they're going to sell their position, which is consequently going to cause the stock to drop down. And then short traders like me are going to see that weakness, and they're going to pile in as well. And so you can also see it has a pretty big red candle when that happens. Like, look how big this red candle is. That's because everybody senses that weakness. Longs are selling, shorts are jumping in. And so really, it's a really simple strategy. But whenever it breaks this type of low right here, and you'll see this happen a ton. I traded this strategy multiple times over the past few weeks, and it works really well. Again, the key here is you don't want to marry these positions. You want to get in and out really, really quickly, take your money, and get out of the position. And so I hope that makes sense to everybody. I'm going to go back to the slideshow here. Let me see if I can go back to this one. How do you go back in PowerPoint? I gotta figure that out. Wait a minute, let me see. There we go. Alright, and so again, once the rejection under the VWAP, you plan to enter on the short side once that previously mentioned low is broken on the downside, and that's going to ultimately be your entry. And so does everybody understand where, the momentum is coming from in this type of trade? What's up, team? What's up, West Coast? What's up, Lavelle? I'm not used to it. Usually there's like a 30-second delay, but there's no delay on this stream. Also, guys, look, check it out. My wife cut my hair. She cut my hair. Apparently, I showed her. I saw something about Kim Kardashian's barber teaching people how to cut hair, and I gave it to my wife, and she like copied it and like cut my hair. She didn't do a bad job. My hair's kind of crazy because I'm not going anywhere. But my wife didn't do a bad job. If you saw how long my hair was before, you'd see. Let me see. Clear as mud. Mute the music. I got you. Here. Is the music too much? Here, I'll just mute it for a second. And I'll turn it down on my headphones so you guys can't hear it either. But yeah, so basically, guys, just to show you, here's another example. I do have another example here. Let me get rid of this. Here's another example. And this is an example of when it's not in a upward trend. It's not kind of what we call a VWAP rejection, but it's actually in a downward trend. And this time I actually drew the line out. One of the things you should look for when you're kind of looking for that low area to document, because you're going to start documenting this low area, one of the things you want to look for is you want to look for confirmations. And so just to draw the confirmations out here, you can see the low of this wick here, and you can see the low of this wick here. Right, and so then when we finally get that area, we can document that level. We do have a really obvious low. We had the stock that looked like it may push above the VWAP here. And then when we get a firm rejection all the way back down below the VWAP, what do we get? We get a really nice break here. And so you're jumping in short right here. I feel like John Madden. You're jumping in short right here, and you're taking advantage of this momentum break. So does that make sense to everybody? I'm just trying to make sure everybody understands that logic. Again, because it makes perfect sense. You watch the tape to determine when to exit the trade, or what is your signal to head out. My signal to head out is honestly just to get 10 to 15 cents, depending on the range of that specific stock, right? So it really depends on the range of that stock. To me, I'm not using the chart usually in this case. Let me see if I can fix this green screen because I'm looking kind of fuzzy over here. There we go. So I'm not really using the chart as much as like a conventional fade to determine where my exit is going to be. I'm more so just keeping roughly a 1-to-1 reward to risk ratio. And like as for risk levels, there's levels like this that are usually specific to each trade, or usually usually unique to each trade. There's levels like this, right? Like you draw this level out here. You know, like that's usually going to be my exit. If the stock breaks above that, it's looking way too strong. I could even use maybe the VWAP, this purple line right here, as my potential risk level. But that's going to be subjective. That's going to depend on, you know, really what the person that's trading it wants it to be. Mostly, I'm just trying to get in and out really, really quickly. With scalping, I'm only trying to take, you know, 5, 10, 15 cents max. If I get more than that, that's great. But if I get more than that, I'm probably holding the position too long, unless the stock has like a larger range. You know, so I'm not trying to marry these moves. I'm trying to take 10 or 15 cents, maybe keeping it at a 1-to-1 reward to risk ratio, and that's it. And then just getting in and out, taking advantage of a high accuracy rate. You know, if you watched me trade this past week, you know my accuracy was on point. I traded a ton, but my accuracy was on point. Like here's my P&L actually from last week. Actually still have it up. I've been using my laptop since then. But like this is my trading from Thursday, right? And so you can see I traded a bunch, but you know my accuracy was spot on. And this looks like it's 3 and 3, but I traded these a little bit more. I traded AMD more, AMD, Disney, and so my accuracy. I think I had 3 losing trades and about 10 winning trades on Friday or Thursday. And so when you're scalping, you're taking advantage of good accuracy more than anything. The risk reward level, I mean, of course, if you could find a good one, that's great, but you're more so looking for favorable momentum and accuracy. What's up, Tiny? What's up, R. Smith? What's up, brother? James says, I watched you make these trades live a couple times. I tried it out last week and it worked out great on a breakout, so you can go both ways. Yeah, certainly. And that's why I tried to change it. I originally had this as only a short strategy, but you can actually trade this on the long side as well. Like it says here, though, let me see if it'll let me to go back. Like it says here, you know, you could use it above or below. You know, above or below works really well with this strategy. Above it would be what we call a rebound bounce setup. And so I have a video on rebound bounces, but above it would be actually what we call a rebound bounce setup. And so with that said, let's go ahead and look at a few examples of this strategy. I do have some on-demand examples that I've documented. So does everybody understand what I'm looking for with this specific strategy before I move on to on-demand examples? If you short sell, can you profit from the shares twice? So shorting, no. Shorting is the same thing as going long. For the most part, you're just getting in and out. It's not it's not any better than that. It's just you're getting in and out. Just if the stock goes, if you go up 10 cents and you're holding 1,000 shares, you make $100 when you cover your position. Same thing as if you're going short and it goes down 10 cents and you have 1,000 shares on the short side, you're going to make $100 when you cover. And so there's not real, aside from that, I mean, when you're shorting, you're essentially just borrowing shares and then returning the shares and profiting the difference. But the way most of them have it is that it's going to be the same as going long. Hey, what's up, Noah? What's up, brother? What's up, my Australian brother over there? All right, so if everybody's good, we can start going over the actual strategy. Let me get this all set up here. Here's a good example, and this is one of the ones I actually used in the PowerPoint. And so let me fix this. And so again, the way you can kind of look for it is you're just looking for a confirmed low. And so when you're looking for these type of strategies, you can document the low here. Really easy level. If you extend it to the left, you can see it does have some confirmation in pre-market as well, just to show you. We do have some confirmation in pre-market, so it's also kind of this low of the body here. And so we do have some confirmations at this low. In this case, it's at 41.36. And so again, you can kind of see the stock, it pushes up, it tests the VWAP, it tries to push above it. Looks, like it may pull above the VWAP, but it on average gets held down and doesn't actually end up breaking it. And so once that happens and you got a really obvious low here, and you got you even have a confirmation, which is, again, looking for a confirmation is key. Here's one, here's two. So we have 2 touches to that level, and it held as support at those 2 touches both times. Hold on, guys. My son is throwing a fit right now. I'm going to mute it, and I'll be right back. Give me like a minute. All right, I guess he stopped. Anyways, so yeah, so you have this low that's formed, and again, this is an example of kind of a choppy trend beforehand. But you're essentially just getting in. Let's say, what would I use on average this past week? I would use like 400 shares. Wait, I wonder if it's going to let me short. I don't know if OnDemand lets me short, does it? Let's fast forward a little bit. And the big thing is you just want to be patient with this low break. You want to wait for it to actually break the low. A lot of the time what gets new traders is that they end up jumping in a little bit too early, and that subsequently makes them hold it during a bounce that they can't afford to hold it through, if that makes sense. So it's like, you want to make sure it actually breaks and you get the full-on breakout beforehand, because if not, you're going to get stuck in a fake out and a bounce. Hold on, guys. I'll be right back. Sorry, guys. My son decided to wait for me to start the stream, and now he's having a mental breakdown, apparently. So bear with me. I might have to mute it again. Just give me a second. Alright, guys. Sorry, my son's having a mental breakdown apparently right when I start streaming. He's had a lot of candy today, and so that's a plausible reason for him freaking out. It's probably just candy. Chocolate. Too much chocolate. Can you guys hear him? Because if you guys can hear him, I'm just going to mute it and wait a second. No, just me and the music? Alright, cool. If you could just hear me, good. Alright, so yeah, so once this low formed and you do have some confirmations, you're going to wait for a break of this low. And you keep it really simple. It's not something, let me make sure I have the auto on and off. Let me get some of this stuff out, remove, reverse, flat, get stuff out of there, we don't need that. And so you can see here, we're waiting for the break of this 4135 level. We have a low formed underneath the VWAP, and again, when we scalp it, we're just going to be waiting for the actual break of it. You know, I like to let it test a little bit before I jump in. Like, I'd like to see it down a little bit more because, again, that's going to help you avoid getting faked out in these type of situations. Honestly, I'm curious as to whether thinkorswim's going to let me short it. I know they don't let me short sometimes on demand, and so they might not actually let me do this. I'm going to wait and see, but they might not actually let me do this, and if they don't, I'm just going to have to pivot to more long style strategies to practice with. Alright, so there's the break. Okay, so it actually let me do it. Like I said, on the stream, I would jump in with like 400 or 500 shares max. I wouldn't try to take a huge size, and what I would usually do is that as soon as I'm up any significant profit, I'm taking partial, and then I'm just going to let the rest really work. And this is what I did constantly on stream. Luckily, my commissions were cheap enough to where I could do this. But I'm taking at least a partial as fast as possible on the momentum move to the breakout. And then if I take profits at the right spot, then I can really let the last remaining part of my position go on a little bit longer to see if I can hold it to some stronger support levels. But that's really it. That's all the strategy is. It's a very simple strategy, but sometimes, especially with scalping, the simple strategies are the ones that work the best. So while we're letting this work, no, I don't think it's actually hyperactivity. I think he's just sleepy, and I think he's been eating. But maybe you're right. I think we were just told that right now. I think we were just told that as kids. We're good? Okay, cool. As long as you can only hear me, that works. Alright, so there's a nice little drop, and then we're going to take another half off, and then we're going to just hold the last little position here. We're only holding 100 shares. If you guys saw me trade this strategy this past week, I get in and out very, very quickly. I'm not mirroring these moves. I'm trying to take 30, 40 bucks from these type of trades, and then I'm done, and I'm moving on to my next trade, and I'm letting my high accuracy really make my money. So then I would probably just get out, and again, in 2 minutes I made $30-something, and that's what I did all last week. Again, if you want to see an actual, this is practice on paper. This is just a demo account, but if you want to see me actually doing this live with a real funded account, go check out all of our streams from this past week, because again, I'm pretty sure I was green every day when the stream was over. So it was a really profitable week for me overall. But that's the first example. What's up, Cool? What's up? Cool's the real OG in the chat, guys. What's up, man? Yeah, I'm just teaching people the scalping strategies I used last week, brother. Alright, so yeah, that's one example. We're gonna look at another one here real quick. Yeah, Tiny, I feel like I haven't traded in years because we had Thursday off, and so I feel like I haven't traded in years. Alright, but let's take a look at another example. I've got like a list of examples here. We're gonna also look at, let me find the date. If you guys want to follow along, I am going to April 7th of 2020. And then we're gonna go to 9:05. We're gonna go to 9:04 just so we can check out the chart before we show you. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, we're doing good, Tipo. We're doing too. My son's kind of in the middle of a freak out because he wants to play Mario Kart, I guess. Alright, I missed this one here. I think I went a little bit too far. I'm trading MU, Tiny. MU's the symbol. Alright, so here's a good example, and this is kind of right in the heat of it. And so when you see something like this, guys, this is really one of the ways that you can find something like this that works really well. So basically, you're looking for a move up towards the VWAP, and then you're looking for a pullback, and then you want that low to be formed. This is kind of where you look for the lows to be formed, like right here, right? You look for confirmation after that low is formed, and so you have like this level's of confirmation, this level's of confirmation, and then you're gonna look for the stock to push up and kind of test the VWAP level. And maybe it breaks above it, and maybe it doesn't. You know, maybe it goes like this and then pulls back down like this, like it did, or maybe it does something like, let me delete these. Or maybe it does something like this, where, you know, it goes up, it pulls back, it forms that low in question, and then it just kind of pops over the VWAP, and it confirms a few more times, forms that low, and then it breaks down. But regardless, the big thing here is that you want this low to be formed. And again, here's the low, right here. Right below the VWAP. This is an example of it when it's in a downward trend, if that makes sense. And so this is in a downward trend. And again, you're looking for this low to break. You get a low that's formed. Hope everyone can see that. And then that's the low that you're waiting to break. So you're waiting for the stock to have, again, a big rejection below the VWAP, like this. And when that big rejection happens, it looks super weak. Again, a lot of the time longs are going to be covering their positions and they're going to be selling, and then a lot of the time shorts like me are going to be jumping in and shorting these type of moves, right? And so does everybody understand why and where we document the low and what low we're looking for the break? You know, this is the low we want the break to happen, and we're just going to try to scalp a few cents off of that low break. And so again, I can document that low here, and we can press play. We'll use a little bit larger size just to show you the potential for the strategy, I guess. You know, gonna sell my Lamborghini course after this too. But yeah, we're just waiting for the low to break here. And so we have a nice move. Again, we're just waiting. We're gonna be patient with it. Like James said, I traded this strategy over and over again last week. It was really profitable. The big key here is that you just want to wait for the low to actually break. You don't want to get in early trying to get a little greedy with it, because that's when you get faked out and it bounces against you. You instead just want to be patient, wait for the break. Let me pause this really quick and show you guys another thing. Another good thing about these type of trades, and this is what you want to get into the habit of when you're trading in general, right? Another good thing is that we have a $50 level, and I think I actually traded this exact strategy. I think I actually did it this exact way, to where you can see we're at 47.50. Half and whole dollars are big levels, and so I'm pretty sure I got into this trade and then I used the $50 as my risk level, is what I'm pretty sure I did with this trade, which is again right here, gave me a really tight risk level. And if you get into the habit of using half and whole dollars, they can be really powerful levels to base your risk, reward, and trade off of in general. But yeah, so we're waiting for this break to happen. We finally get a pullback here, and we're just going to look for a quick break under here. Once we get the firm, obvious break, we're going to jump in, plan to take at least half. What a nice drop. Yeah, check on the chat. All right, cool. Hey, thanks, man. Thanks, Adam. Yeah, hit that like button. You know, we got 6 dislikes, but one thing I've noticed is that every time, this is all just one person. Like, it's just one person. Half of those dislikes are going to disappear in like a day. Alright, so now we got a nice move. That was probably my time to take profit. So now we got a nice move. I'm going to take half off there. and then I'm going to hold these 500 shares, and I'm just going to scale out of this position as we move back. Another thing that you can actually do with these trades is that on this bounce back right here, so you guys see this bounce back right here? On this bounce back, you can actually short into this bounce back, anticipating that the same previous low is going to turn into resistance. And so you can see, just to give you an example, you can short back into the bounce back to that level, and then anticipate that this level is going to hold as resistance. I did that a few times last week as well, to where when it bounces back like this, I actually short into the move and then anticipate taking profits on a rejection of that level, if that makes sense. They have a bunch of fake accounts, most likely, Tiny. That's usually what it is. They just got a bunch of fake accounts, and then YouTube spots it and then removes the fake accounts and the fake dislikes, and then it goes back to normal, is usually what it does. I've seen it happen a few times. It's either that or people accidentally hit dislike, and then it just goes away in 2 days. I don't trade with the RSI. I'm just not sure how to be honest. It's not an indicator I really ever used. But yeah, basically you see the resistance formed, you see the low break, and then you can short into this move. That's not what I really suggest. I think that's a little bit more for somebody that is a little bit more used to doing it. But when you're first getting started, I suggest you just keep it really easy and you know, take part there. You know, I could take another half off there and just make a quick extra 20 or 30 bucks, and then you know, ride the rest down, sell as much as I can really quickly, riding the momentum. And like I said, I'm pretty sure I took this exact trade. Like, if you're like, oh well, you're just using on-demand paper, I'm pretty sure I actually took this exact trade last week, and I have it on stream, me doing it. I'm not 100% sure though, but I'm pretty sure, because I know I traded this strategy a bunch, and this seems familiar. Do you have a chat room? No. I mean, we have a live stream. We stream live every day. So, like, if you want to watch us trade these live, you can go back and just watch last week's live streams. We actually trade the market open, and we trade, you know, live on stream every weekday for free on YouTube. So it's not like we charge for anything. We don't have a charging chat room, I should say. Yeah, we got a Discord. Yeah, if you want to check out the Discord, it's right here. Yeah, here's the Discord if you want to check it out. Right, exactly, Tiny. That's all it ever is, you know. Yeah, no stress. But yeah, just go back and you can check out the channel. We got everything we do here is free. We're not experts or anything like that. Like I prefaced this stream with, like, I'm not an expert and I'm not a guru, and I'm just teaching people what worked for me last week. And maybe it doesn't work for you. You know, that's possible. But it worked for me. And I've been trading it like this for, you know, a month or two, and they've been pretty powerful strategies, honestly. Where would you have your stop loss here? After this level, I'd probably put my stop loss at the top of this wick right here. But again, I think that's all subjective. That's all personal preference. You could also use the VWAP. You know, the VWAP would kind of make sense here as well. And then I'm going to take, you know, more off there, and then I'm going to let this break. You can also short into this break here. But again, the whole point is just to be really quick and easy with it, selling into momentum and being done. I don't want to hold it any more past that. I'm just trying to take my quick profit and then get out. I didn't count my shares right. And just take my quick profit and then get out. I messed up the end, but that's all the trade is, right? You're just trying to take advantage of very short-term momentum. I'm just trying to get 10 or 15 cents, get in and out really, really easily and quickly. Oh, here, I can throw the RSI up. I don't know how, to be honest. I'm not an RSI guy. Let me see if I can find it. Sorry, my dad is calling me. What is RSI under? It would be a volatility studies, no? Trend studies, maybe? We'll look it up on the next one. But yeah, it's a really simple strategy that works really well. Is this your main source of income? Not by itself, no. Like I said, I'm not an expert. I'm not a guru. I'm just teaching people what worked for me last week. Like I said, in gross profit, I probably made at least $1,000 last week. At least, I'm pretty sure. And I streamed it all live to where it's not like I'm one of those guys that are just kind of posting a bunch of nonsense that's fake. I streamed it all live on YouTube for free. But I'm not an expert, and I'm slowly growing and progressing as a trader. Again, though, I mean, if you go back and you watch my streams and you tally up how many times I ended green versus red and how much, you would see that I'm actually pretty profitable, at least in the last 6 months. Alright, so we're going to move on. So does everybody understand the strategy that is implemented? It's really easy. You just look for a low like this that formed with some confirmation underneath the VWAP, and then you wait for the stock to get rejected below the VWAP and look weak, and then you're shorting into that weakness and momentum from the low break is all you're really doing. So you're just looking for a big downward move, a big break, and you're shorting into that weakness. That's all you're doing. It works really well. Again, the key is you don't hold it for too long. You don't marry the position. You get in and out, and you're done. Edit studies. I got you. All right, here. Let's take a look. Studies. Edit studies. RSI. Apply. Alright, so here's the RSI. Like I said, though, I have no idea what the RSI does, what it is. Not an RSI trader by any means. I mostly stick with VWAP. I'm more of a purist when it comes to trading indicators, and so mostly just use the VWAP and support and resistance that are manually drawn by me. Now you're good, Brian. Yeah, check out our classes, brother. We got a bunch of free content on YouTube. Alright, so with that, I'm going to move on to a different strategy. And this strategy, if you think this one's simple, the next one's actually going to be even more simple. Yeah, like I said, I mean, here's my P&L from Friday. $219 from Thursday, actually. But, you know, did it all live, streamed it all live. It was a fun week. Alright, so let's look at strategy number 2, which is actually a really easy strategy as well. I don't know what U-Soil is. J, I don't know what that is, man. What is that? Is that a symbol? If it is, I don't trade it. Never traded it before. I mostly stick to cannabis and microchips. But again, that's just me specifically. Everybody's a little bit different. But again, I hope everybody can understand the strategy and see, you know, why it works really well. We're going to look at another one here again. The next strategy is the market high and low break. And this one is both a long and short strategy. Man, looking fuzzy up there. Here we go. Alright, so yeah, so again, the next strategy I'm going to go over is one that takes advantage of the overall market's momentum using the SPY and the S&P 500. With it, we wait for the market to break a low or high of the day in a really obvious way, and then we look for the following momentum in another stock. And so we're essentially waiting for high or low at the day breaks in the S&P 500 or the SPY. So basically, we're waiting for the market to break highs or lows. This is a market high or low break strategy, and so we're waiting for the market itself, not these other stocks, but the market itself to break highs and lows. The key is that when we're waiting for the actual break of the highs and lows, if you jump in too early, just like the last one, a lot of the time you're going to get faked out. And so you want to have patience when you enter these positions, and you want to wait for some really obvious relative weakness to what the stock had been doing previously, right? And so there's two potential entries you can make for these. The first is at the initial break. When you get in at the initial break, it should be a much shorter position, and it should be a much shorter trade that takes advantage of really quick momentum. The second option to enter is on a pullback to test the previous level, kind of like we talked about in the last strategy. Right, and so just to move on from this slide and show you some actual examples of it, here's the SPY itself. I might, let me see where I can do with myself up here. I'll put myself up here. There we go, that's a little bit better. Alright, and so, wait, there we go. So yeah, I'm at the top right, I'm floating up here. But yeah, so, this is the SPY itself. It's the mini S&P 500. It's the actual market. So we see the low of the day here, right? We see this low of the day right here. Let me draw it. Get my pen out. So we see the low of the day here. And when the market itself breaks that low of the day here, you can see it's 10 a.m. It's 10:10, right? That's when the market breaks, at 10:10 a.m. Eastern time, market time, right? And so we get a really nice break of the overall market at 10:10 Eastern. And again, this is from the SPY itself, right? And if we look at what MU does when that happens, this is 10:10 a.m. It wasn't actually a low of the day break. The low of the day for MU was right here. But when that break happened on the overall market, what did we get? We get a lot of following momentum on the downside right here. You know, that's what we're taking advantage of. You're entering the position here when the low of the day break happens in the overall market. And again, just like the last one, you're just writing it down for 10 or 15 cents. You're not trying to marry the move. You're not trying to hold it for any significant amount of time. You're trying to get in, take 10 or 15 cents, depending on the range of the stock, and then you're getting out of the position. Again, scalping gets traders in trouble, and not everybody can scalp positions, because what happens is they end up holding positions a little bit too long, and it reverses, and then that just gets them in trouble. And so the key to the success of doing this is just getting in and out really, really quickly and not marrying the position. And so does everybody see that and understand that? I just want to say thank you for doing this. Hey, I appreciate it, Jay. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I don't trade commodities, brother. Never have. It's just not my style, man. I'm mostly a stock trader. Lately I've been scalping, but I'm mostly a VWAP, microchip cannabis stock trader. I don't really mess with too much other stuff. I just stick with what works for me, and this is what works, and so I just stick with what works, you know. And so here's another example. I'm pretty sure we got another one. Maybe not. Maybe that was it. Yeah, so that was it. So with that, I do have a few examples that we can go over here as well for these type of strategies. Let me clear out my P&L. Or no, let me, yeah, there it is. No, where do I clear out? Reset. Reset account, there we go. All right, I'm gonna just reset my account here, and then we're gonna start working on some examples of this. Again, using OnDemand. And remember, guys, if you want to watch us do this live, we'll be day trading tomorrow morning at 8:15 market time like we always do. We day trade live every day for free on YouTube, and so go check that out. We'll be there live just like we always are every weekday morning at 8:15 market time. Alright, and so the next one we have, if you want to follow along, is again on April 7th. And I'm going to have to pull two charts up, I just realized. Let me see how you guys can see that. So yeah, I'm going to keep the SPY up here. See how well you can see that. There we go. This will work. Yeah, just do this. Alright. Alright, let me see. This was at April 7th. Here's the market itself. 9:07 was the time. Alright guys, so yeah, let's wait for this to load, and then we'll go over this example, and I'll turn it down a little bit just so everybody can be happy, to where we got the music playing, but it's not super loud to where it's distracting. There we go. That should work. Alright, so again, we're on April 7th. Here's the market itself. Here's the SPY itself. And so we're essentially waiting for this level to break. So when you're trading this strategy, number one, it's actually a really easy thing to start doing. You just got to document this low at the day break here. You got to just document this low at the day break. You could probably either trade this one or this one. I tend to prefer the body one, but everybody's a little bit different. So you document the low of the day. And then when that happens, you get ready. Wait a minute. Is this one AMD or MU? Let me see. Yeah, this is on MU. Okay. Alright. And so as you can see, the SPY is kind of edging towards this low of the day level. You want to get ready. You want to get your position ready. And you can see when the SPY starts to break, if you look down, if you look right here, the SPY is breaking that low of the day. We're going to wait for it to actually happen. But you can see right there, the SPY is actually about to break the low of the day. And so I'm actually going to use, and again, just like I said, if you don't wait for the actual break to happen, what do you get? You get this right here. You see the bounce? If you're impatient and you get in a little bit too early, this is what you get. And so you need to be patient and wait for the actual low to break fully down below that level. If you get in too early, you're going to get faked out a ton. You can actually see this is the same strategy that we went over in the last one. It's just kind of a following move from it based off of the market's momentum. And so here's the break. We're going to wait for the break. There's the break. We jump in short. As soon as I'm in, if you don't have hotkey set up, I'm immediately adjusting the position sizing so I can take profits fast. And so again, quick move down, I'm taking half off just on the first quick move down. And you can see how much they follow each other. Here's the SPY breaking. And then again, as that happens, I'm going to start unloading my position of MU until I'm only holding 200 shares left like this. And as you can see, the big momentum from the SPY's downward move is what's allowing me to scalp 10 or 15 cents. Not a huge position. This was actually 8 cents, it looks like, from MU. Maybe a little bit more since I scaled out of it. And I'm just trying to get in, get out, take advantage of short-term momentum, and exit the position, making a quick little, roughly 92 bucks, 100 bucks. And that's it. And it's very simple. Again, you want to wait for the actual break to happen. As you can see, it's still kind of going on here where the move is still kind of happening. But you're just documenting that low in the market and you're waiting for that break to happen, and then you're trading a following stock. And that's it. Works really, really well. And so I hope people can find these really simple strategies useful. Hey, what's up, Jacob? Thumbs up to you as well, man. Happy Easter, brother. Alright guys, but yeah, I think that's going to be it. I hope everybody liked and enjoyed those strategies. I just wanted to keep it really simple. I do have a long strategy. Do you guys want me to go over the long strategy as well? I can do that if you guys would like. I do have a long strategy that we can go over too. Do y'all want to see that? Yeah? Okay, I got you. Oh, let me pause this really quick here. So, like I said before, you can wait for a bounce back in the market. And you can see we actually have the bounce back here. So you can see it tested that level. And I'm pretty sure I took this trade as well last week. But you can see this bounce back right here. You can see this bounce back testing that previous low of the day. And so when that happens, again, just like the last one, when you get this bounce back, you can anticipate that holds as resistance and short into the move and try to take another 10 or 15 cents, anticipating a rejection right here. Anticipating that rejection right there at that top line right there. If you anticipate that rejection, you could just add to your position and then just short into the subsequent move on the way down. It's really easy. You can take advantage of really quick momentum. Let me see, what am I holding? I'm holding 500 shares. And it's a really simple trade to take advantage of. Again, my suggestion to new traders that haven't done this very much is to just keep it simple. Usually I would just do it a one and done. If you haven't scalped that much before and you haven't been trading very long, I'd keep it as simple as possible at first. But if you know what you're doing and you're just looking to add new trading strategies to your arsenal like me, shorting into this bounce right here makes a lot of sense too. From a technical analysis, support and resistance perspective, it makes a lot of sense too. And you can take, a quick little, $30 from it, and then just make your quick little money from it, write it down some more, and be done. A really easy trade. As you can see, that level holds really well. That level right here holds really well. It gets rejected and comes back down, and you can just scalp in and scalp out, and make money really easily. Alright, so I got one more example that we could go over. This is going to be a long example here, and this is going to be from, and this is all within the last week. Most of these examples are all within the last week. And so, yeah, here's another low at the daybreak happening right now. But yeah, most of these examples and these charts were pulled from this past week. And so the point is that they're actually very common strategies that work really well. These strategies present themselves enough in the market for them to be pretty profitable, and they happen a ton, is basically what I'm saying. So yeah, I'm going to do one more quick one, and then that's it. And we're going to hang it up. I'm going to go hang out with my family. My wife is making ribs right now, and so I'm kind of hungry. I'm ready to go eat them. My son calmed down. Alright, so here's it on the long side, right? And what we get here, pause this. So number one, this is a long version of this strategy. This is a version from the upside. This is, instead of shorting the stock, you're actually longing the stock. You're profiting when the stock moves up. And so again, with this strategy, the first thing you want to do is you just want to document the previous high of the day. And the previous high of the day would be right here. So when you document that level, you're just waiting for that level to break, and then you're trying to ride another stock up with it, right? And so we get in, we wait for the break. Might have missed it a little bit here. But once the break actually happens, we jump in, try to ride this move up. I think this is frozen. I'm going to pause it. Try to get this working. It's frozen. Man, I got like 32 gigs of RAM. I got an i7. My computer's still slow, you know. I don't know, Noah. Maybe, brother. Maybe. Hey, no stress. That's why. No worries, brother. Yeah, I just gotta get my chart working, man. My chart's slacking this morning, man. It's slacking. I'm gonna rewind it a little bit so we can... Yeah, there it goes. Alright, so here we go. Alright, so again, as you can see, there's the market breaking highs. No? You gonna work for me? Alright, there we go. Alright, so as you can see, here's MU, and here is the SPY itself. Here's the high break. We're looking for this high of the day break right here. So when that high of the day break happens, you can take a following stock. And again, if you're scalping it like me without hotkeys, as soon as I enter the position, I'm immediately adjusting my share size to whatever first profit I want to take. So whatever the share size is I want to unload when I'm ready, I immediately adjust my share size accordingly. So if I want to sell 600 shares for my first profit target, I'm going to select 600. And then as soon as we get a push up, as you can see, as the market pushes up, we are also getting a following move. We can take half off there. And now we're holding 400 shares. If you want to take more, you can take another 200 off here. And then hold the last 200 to see if we get a much larger move in the overall stock. Right? So you're taking advantage of short-term momentum on the upside in the overall market. You can also use the S&P 500, and honestly, sometimes I do use the S&P 500 over the SPY, but I'm taking advantage of short-term momentum. I'm selling it really, really quickly, making a few $100, and then I'm out of the trade, right? And again, you might see these and be like, man, it's really easy, you know, he's making all this money. The reality is it's extremely difficult, and you have to be very, very strict with yourself not to get emotional, not to just hold on to positions when you shouldn't, and you need to be very strict with yourself when you're trading it like this. But anyways, guys, I'm going to go ahead and close this one down. That's going to be it for today's live stream. I haven't done a stream like this in a while. We didn't have a bad turnout. You know, we had, you know, over 60 people here at one point, which for a Sunday night is not really that bad for the channel. If you want to watch us day trade live, again, we do this live every weekday morning for free. We'll be day trading tomorrow morning live. We usually have at least 300 or 400 people there every single weekday. And so if you want to watch us day trade the stock market live with our real accounts and watch me implement these strategies live on stream like we do every weekday, hit the subscribe button, click the bell, show your support for what we do here. To all my BT family, happy Easter, team. Love you all. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. If you want to use the same platform as us, I'll post that link here one more time if you want to help support us and support our free content. Like I said, everything we put out there is free. I'm pretty sure TAFS and TradeNet have a sale right now where you can get packages for $375, and so if you want to check that out, I'm pretty sure they have sales going on right now. I'm turning 500 into 25K. Yeah, well, I'm turning $3 into 7 billion, bro. Beat that, man. You know, I'm also gonna sell my new day trading course called Buy the Dip. It's gonna be $7 million, and but it's guaranteed to make you 70 billion. So I think it's worth it. But I'm gonna get my orange Lamborghini out back now. All sarcasm, guys. Like I said, love you all. Have a good day. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Click the bell. We do this live for free every day. So good luck, guys. I hope you appreciated this video. And yeah, come join us tomorrow. We'll be streaming tomorrow morning like we do we do it every weekend or every weekday. We stream live every single weekday for free. Again, we're not experts. We're not gurus. But if you want to watch to see what it's actually like trading the market, hit that subscribe button. If you click the bell, you'll get a notification every time we go live as well. So later, team. Have a good day. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.